Hello and welcome to Tarot with Tanya. This is 7 cards for 7 days, and we are beginning with Monday, January 15th and going to Sunday the 21st. And we are starting our week with the moon in Pisces, and then we'll end it with the moon in Gemini. And I believe last week I might have messed that up a little bit and said we were ending in Aquarius. Well, that was up until about Saturday night. And then by Sunday we switched to Pisces. So anyway, we're clear where we are now, starting on that Monday with Pisces and ending on that next Sunday, the 21st, in Gemini. So welcome, and please remember to take everything here as a general reading. If it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, then just let that part go. I am using the Wild Unknown deck this week, and I'll begin with a little bit of the week's astrology. Excuse me, and then we'll move into the cards and end with an oracle card. So on this Monday, we have the Sun sextile to Neptune. So that can make us deeply sensitive to the arts. It can make us feel very dreamy, very considerate of other people, in need of peace and silence. I mean, it can be a great day to do creative things because you have that energy of the Sun, which helps us focus, and it illuminates. And then the Neptune is that very far out part of us that can connect to an energy that's maybe not even in our normal realm in a way, or we're perceiving it in a very new creative way. So that's our Monday. Thursday, we have Mercury sextiling Saturn, and these sextiles they're good aspects. So now we have disciplined thinking. Mercury is all about that communication, that thinking, the mental energies, and so with it connecting to Saturn in a harmonious way, that's where we get the disciplined thinking. We can be serious, we can be grounded, and that can make very efficient communication as well. Then we get to Friday, still on Mercury, and this time it is trine to Jupiter, but we also have Venus square Neptune that day. So it's going to be a mixture. There's a happiness and optimism that comes from that Mercury trining, again, a good easy aspect. Jupiter, the communication, the thinking, and then Jupiter's very expansive, so that's where we might feel the happiness and the optimism. And there also then, with the Venus squaring Neptune, can be the potential for having illusions in relationships, even down to deceit, potentially an unrequited love. You want to watch your money. I mean, none of that may pertain to you in that particular day, but those are just energies that are out there. And then Saturday, finally, we have the Sun conjunct Pluto, and the Sun entering Aquarius, and then obviously that means Pluto is as well. So this is something that astrologers are spending a lot of energy, a lot of time talking about. And it can very much signify power to the people, because Aquarius is a sign of the humanitarian, concerned for the larger group and the individual inside that group. How do we come together and make something that is better for more people? It can also encourage our independence, make us feel more independent and more original. That's where the Aquarius energies are. That lovely sense of independence, that sense of connecting to original ideas, maybe what people see as far out, at least initially, which might become something very different eventually. after people get used to it. So that's our astrological rundown for the week. So let's turn to the cards. And one of the things that jumped out right away for me this week is that we have no majors. And that's rare. Almost always in these 7 cards we end up with some majors. But this time we did not. And it's a decidedly feminine energy reading because of the elements. We have a couple of wands, and otherwise it's discs and earth, discs and water, so earth and water. And in this deck, the discs are actually called pentacles. So let's take a look at that. And we only have the one royal card, and that starts our Monday, and this would be the daughter, sometimes seen as the princess or the page of pentacles or discs. And, you know, here we have this lovely, I'm going to say fawn just because it's hard to tell the size, but because of the spots. So, you know, obviously a daughter energy, it's not the full-grown mother doe yet. And this one often is a sign of potential, of things being nurtured, things that are growing, things that we want to see come forward. So we're giving them positive attention and energy, feeding them well. So Monday could be a really great day to look at what you are feeding in your life. You know, what is it that you want to nurture, and how do you feed that and help it grow and go forward. On Tuesday, we have the 2 of Wands. So I'm trying to get the glare reduced there some. You know, wands are fire, and this 2, you can see, perhaps, I'll try to bring it a little closer there, the tips are not quite touching, but they are in balance in a way, the way that they are leaning toward one another. And sometimes this card can be a little contentious. You might have 2 energies sort of, okay, here's my point of view, here's mine over here, you know, and trying to match up those energies in a slightly competitive way. Or it really can be, I think, working as a team too. All of the 2s can be seen as that kind of energy as well. And they're all connected to the High Priestess. So there's an intuitive aspect to that. Now, when you get into fire, you're talking more instinctual. But what is your instinct telling you? And perhaps in connection to another person, to issues, things like that. And this is where we get a pairing, because on Wednesday, we also have a 2. So again, connected to the High Priestess, to our intuitive, very interior selves, and this time we're talking pentacles again. So this is our second pentacles card for the week. And you know, you see the butterfly of transformation, you see the infinity sign there with a pentacle on each side of it. So obviously this is very much about balance. Sometimes actually people see this as juggling things. Some decks will show a person who is holding one disc in each hand and, you know, moving, exchanging those, rotating them, things like that. So part of it is change. And how do we stay steady in change? How do we shift things around in a concrete way that still feels really balanced to us? So that could be the energy that dominates on our Wednesday. Thursday, we are staying with that feminine. So out of our 4 days so far, 3 have been that feminine energy. And that continues here with the 4 of Cups. I remember this coming up before in the 7 cards, this particular one. And, you know, just it so interests me that we have this rodent sitting on top of these 4 cups. And, you know, cups are emotional, intuitive, the psychic realm. 4 is a very stable number. It's the number of earth energy. So it almost feels like, you know, this rodent, mouse, rat, whatever it's supposed to be, is pressing down on these cups and containing the energy in a way. I've seen this card called luxury. I've seen it called boredom. Sometimes there's no label at all, like we have here. So what is it about? Is there a way that we might be missing something? Are we being offered a different emotional state that perhaps for some reason feels a bit suppressed? That's how this one strikes me. So again, that's our Thursday. And it sometimes can be an energy that comes across as almost too much of a good thing, or luxuriating in something that causes a little stagnation, a little stuckness. When we get to that 5, then we're dealing in a whole different energy. So, you might want to enjoy the 4 and, see where that emotional stability could be. But if things need to change, know that change is natural. It's the only constant, and it always leads us to a better place eventually. So when we get to Friday, we're back to a 3rd 2. So that 2 energy is the strongest energy by far this week. So, as I mentioned earlier, connected to that High Priestess, which is deeply feminine, which seems to be the way this week wants to play out, even though we have, the Sun and Pluto moving into Aquarius, which is a masculine sign. So, there's that balancing of the masculine and feminine going on, but, that doesn't happen until Saturday. And just a heads up, we're going to get a masculine card that day. But the day before, this is our Friday. This is when we have that Mercury trine Jupiter and the Venus square Neptune. So this to me very much fits that Venus square Neptune, potentially on the dark side. Now the good side is equal and special love, being with someone you really care about. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be a dear friend, a family member, just somebody you feel really in harmony with. Now, if it goes to the dark side, that's where there could be some unrequited love or some deceit in that kind of a relationship. But hopefully it turns into a very positive energy for you. And, given that you're getting a heads up on this, set that intention that when that Friday comes, you're fully aware, but you're choosing to use that energy of Mercury trine Jupiter and Venus square Neptune, to get yourself into a good place with that, a loving, harmonious place where you can see some equality, some balance, and some specialness as well. So it can just be really good communication also. Then, as I mentioned on Saturday, when we have the Sun and Pluto moving into Aquarius, we get the other fire card, the Wands here, and this time the 8 of Wands. So you can see there's a sort of lightning bolt. It strikes me more, not smoke coming up so much, I guess because of the colors mainly, but like igniting that fire with this energy that's coming down, again, potentially as a lightning bolt and striking the center of these 8 wands. So vivacious communication can be part of this card, flirtation, passion, those are all associations with it. If it goes a bit to the dark side, it can be intense. I think that might be part of, when you've got that Sun and Pluto conjunct, there could be a lot of energy that is inside of that. And, we want to try to express that in a positive way. This is connected to 8, which is a strength card in the majors. And that's where we are hopefully really working with that internal strength and being mindful of how we express it, perhaps gently on the outside, but knowing, that strong source from the inside. And then our last day, Sunday of our 7 days, we have the 3 of Cups. So earlier, we had the 2, the 4 before that. Now we've got the 3. And, you know, here you see the three birds in a kind of lovely sort of maybe more sunrise energy, perhaps sunset, but a happiness here. Harmony can be very good communication, getting in touch with your creativity, friends getting together, some kind of a celebration. All of those are potentials on this card. So it could be a very lovely next Sunday. So again, all in all, a lot of intuitive, psychic, emotional energy this week. That's the dominant energy with the 3 cups. And then the earth continues in the groundedness of the Daughter of Pentacles and the 2 of Discs. So choosing what we want to nurture on a physical level, choosing what we want to nurture on an emotional level with the cups, and then what are we going to put some energy into with the wands. So I hope that really helps. And then last but not least, our oracle card. And this is coming from the Crystal Angels deck by Doreen Virtue. And we got kyanite for this week. So here is our kyanite, and it is a beautiful blue color. This is a stone I'm definitely drawn to. So this comes up whenever you've been putting your own needs last on your list. It is a sign of being overly busy, not feeling that you have enough time for rest, exercise, healthful eating, spiritual practices, and other forms of self-care. So this card emphasizes that self-care isn't optional, but necessary for your health, happiness, and life purpose. Source and your angels want to elevate your life so that you no longer feel oppressed or victimized. So the message here is that not only do you deserve self-care, but you must carve out time for it without delay. So that, you know, it doesn't get into something, you know, more serious. So the urgency comes in answer to your prayers for a better life. God has given you the strength to take the first step yourself by adding self-care to your daily schedule and deleting unwanted tasks. It is time for you to say no to distractions and to set your priorities, which include self-care. That, with all the feminine energy this week, just seems like the perfect answer to that, the perfect card, the perfect ending. So, beloveds, I wish you all a beautiful week, as always. Please reach out if you have any questions, comments, anything I can do for you in that regard, or if you're interested in a personal reading, need a little bit of help in some way. Information will be in the description box and at the end of the video. So, wishing you the best.